Ukraine and Russia are exchanging fire on multiple fronts. Bridges are being destroyed, cities are burning, and oil depots are under attack.
All right, in other news, Russia has conducted fresh strikes on Ukraine's Zaporizhia region. Ukraine says Russian forces carried out 567 attacks over the last 24 hours.
At least 7 people were injured in a missile strike, while 2 others were hospitalized, and 23 private homes, 12 apartment buildings, and a post office suffered damage.
At 4:16 in the morning, Moscow's most secure military headquarters was under attack. Not by missiles or bombers, but by swarms of drones, motorbike squads, and robotic mine layers moving through choking smoke and burning barricades. What began as a flicker on Russian radar quickly became a coordinated strike against the very nerve center of Russian intelligence. Viewers like you have seen firefights and raids before, but this was no raid. So how did Ukraine punch through the defenses of the GRU's stronghold and leave Moscow's command blinded before sunrise?
Biggest Russian drone and missile attack of the war. Ukraine says Moscow fired 550 drones and 11 missiles overnight.
To Russia launching a massive aerial assault against Ukraine, the biggest since the invasion more than 3 years ago.
Rescue workers say 1 person died and 26 were injured.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Imagine a fortress built to outlast nuclear fire, standing at the edge of Moscow with walls of reinforced concrete, multiple security perimeters, and an army of elite guards ready to respond within minutes. This was the GRU's headquarters, the heart of Russian military intelligence, connected by hardened communications to the Kremlin itself. Its purpose was not only strategic but symbolic, a place designed to project invulnerability, where orders to Russian forces across the globe originated. Yet before sunrise, its gates and towers came under siege by something no war room had fully accounted for. A sky full of buzzing quadcopters and squads of fighters wielding tools of mobility, not heavy arsenals. The irony could not be missed. Russia had poured billions into building a command center immune to conventional strikes, wrapping it in layers of radar systems, Spetsnaz units hidden in underground chambers, and thick blast doors reinforced against bombs.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said before he'll consider peace talks, Russia must meet one condition.
Stop shelling us, stop killing civilians.
It wants to continue to brutalize the Ukrainian people, wants to continue to shell their cities and towns.
In the last 12 months, Russia has killed tens of thousands of Ukrainian men, women, and children.
Uprooted more than 13 million people from their homes, bombed more than 700 hospitals, and yet the spirit of the Ukrainians remains unbroken. If anything, it's stronger than ever.
Every simulation assumed that if an enemy dared to strike, they would send jets or ballistic missiles. Ukraine gambled on another idea. Instead of large targets that could be intercepted, they unleashed dozens of cheap drones and squads equipped with dirt bikes and bicycles, machines so ordinary they slipped into battle almost unnoticed. It was asymmetry turned into strategy. At 4:16 in the quiet morning, the first wave hit. Surveillance drones appeared first, whirring low over the perimeter fences to map firing points. Almost simultaneously, electronic warfare vehicles on the outskirts powered up, their antennas spilling white noise across the frequency bands the Russian radars relied upon. Screens in the control rooms inside the GRU flickered, showing glitches instead of clean tracks. From rooftops, defenders raised anti-drone rifles, beams of radio interference cutting through the night, their reports echoing against empty streets. But they were shooting blind. In those minutes, attack quadcopters dropped their first bomblets. They weren't targeting troops, but machinery, radar towers, small but vital, nodes that had to stay online or the headquarters would lose sight of the battle. Explosions ripped apart these fixtures, shattering antennas and leaving plumes of sparks. Meanwhile, robotic mine layers rolled forward. They were small, crawler-sized units with single tasks. Plant TM-62 tank mines against weak points in the fortification. These machines scuttled beneath guard towers, placing their charges like mechanical saboteurs, their work invisible until controlled detonations created sudden breaches. The chaos deepened when mobility squads entered. Motorbikes screamed through smoke. Riders hunched low, weaving past counterfire. They weren't there to win firefights, but to distract, scattering Russian defenses and forcing command to redeploy. At the same time, bicycle riders pushed silently into side alleys. Balanced across their frames were improvised payloads, ammunition, small explosives, supplies. In narrow urban spaces where tanks or trucks couldn't maneuver, these bicycles became surprisingly effective carriers. Where defenders expected heavy vehicles, they found two wheels cutting through passages no armored column could reach. From above, drones relayed live camera feeds straight to Ukrainian crews positioned outside the perimeter. Heat signatures of Russian patrols lit up on screens, maps that updated in real time. Tank gunners and infantry commanders used these feeds to position firepower where defenders were weakest. An alleyway left unguarded, a machine gun nest about to reload, a tunnel output still unsealed. Every blind corner Russia had fortified was mapped and displayed seconds ahead of the fight. But Russian Spetsnaz did not stay passive. From deep tunnels beneath the compound, strike teams surged upward. They took back fortified rooms, ambushed advancing squads, and tried to bottle attackers in choke points. For a moment, momentum nearly shifted. Firefights broke out in stairwells and dark corridors as elite units countered wave after wave, trying to hold ground by force of training and discipline. Yet the attackers had coordinated their timing so tightly that no counterpunch could slow the pace. Drones continued to blind radars while robotic mines forced defenders out of cover. Motorbike units darted through smoke, pulling Russian squads in circles. Tanks pushed at the exact second that infantry cleared obstacles, every move synchronized through digital eyes hovering overhead. The siege was not won through sheer destruction, but by collapsing defenses piece by piece until resistance became unsustainable. If Moscow's most hardened intelligence hub, designed to resist aerial bombing and sabotage, could be breached by synchronized swarms of drones and light vehicles, the question became almost unavoidable. What did such a strike mean for the rest of Russia's war machine? The strike was never about holding territory. No infantry could occupy a fortress buried under Moscow's defenses for long, and Ukraine knew it. The objective was to prove that even the most fortified command hub could be breached with the right mix of timing and technology. That message cuts deeper than any physical damage. If drones, bicycles, and light vehicles can dismantle Russia's intelligence heart, then what fortress in today's world is truly safe? The balance of this war shifted that morning. What remained was a symbol, a warning that strength measured in walls no longer guarantees security.